Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Badges, May the 13th, 2026. It's been a minute since I did one of these videos, but I really am trying to be consistent with my posting. I'm dealing with allergies right now. It is that time of this year. You know, we don't really have seasons here in California, but there is pollen in the air or something because everybody's sneezing, people sneezing left and right. I take a little white pill every day, and that keeps me fine with the sneezing and the nose blowing and all the other stuff that happens. But today I had to take. I took. Usually I take one in the morning before I go to sleep, and I take one when I wake up. But I had to take three today. So because I was like blowing my nose like crazy. It's really frustrating because I never really had allergies until like maybe about 10 years ago. It just kind of came out of nowhere. So all you allergy sufferers out there, I feel your pain. I mean, I understand. So anyway, there's a lot that's been going on. A lot that I need to try to catch up on. Video game industry still going through a lot of changes. The Steam machine is supposed to be coming pretty soon. I might get one. You know, I imagine probably until the end of this year. It's gonna probably be very hard to get one of those things. I know that Steam, Valve is saying that I guess they're gonna be doing some things to keep the scalpers from being able to buy all of the machines when they come out. Because when the controllers came out, I think it was last month when they came out. The Steam controllers. For all that don't know, if you play games on PC. If you play games on the computer, you're using either Steam, Epic, or GOG. Steam is, they have like their own operating system, Linux, which is better for playing video games on a computer anyway, because you don't have all the bloat. So if the Steam Deck really, you just turn the damn thing on. There might be a few updates, but it's not like playing on a Windows device because you got to update the drivers and all the updates for all the other stuff that's on the machine. So any computer that has Windows on it and the handhelds go through the same thing. A Linux-based operating system is just like typical console. Most people just don't want to deal with all that crap. They just want to turn it on and it works, which is why the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the Switch, they're consoles and they're easy. So the Linux makes PC gaming console-like by eliminating all this stuff. So Valve came out with their Steam machine, I guess like 5 or 6 years ago, and I bought one. My first one got stolen, but the Steam Deck is like the Switch, but it plays PC games. It plays like Steam is like the biggest distributor of games on PC. And then you have Epic. Epic is really cool. I like Epic because they give away a lot of games free all the time. And I think it's sad that a lot of people don't know about this. So, if you don't play games on Steam, on PC, you could have like a, crappy computer from like 1,000 years ago. And, some of those older games will still run on it. And then the technology is getting to the point where you can stream games. So I would advise anyone that's listening and watching this video, create a Steam account, create an Epic account, and just take advantage of the sales and the free games. You can stockpile games so that when you eventually get a Windows device, and the technology is getting to the point now where you can just stream games. So I would just advise anyone to get a Steam and Epic account. And the cool thing about Epic, like I said, Epic, they get some games that Steam doesn't get, and Steam gets a hell of a lot of games that Epic don't get. But Epic gives away free games all the time. Steam does give away free games sometimes, but Epic, they give away free games all the time. It's just not it's not all stinkers. Now GOG, which stands for Good Old Games, they have made a name for themselves. For all that don't know, GOG has made a name for themselves because they are very consumer friendly. You know, just like Steam is. Steam is very consumer friendly too. Epic is, you know, but GOG, GOG, they don't have DRM on their games and digital rights. Something with basically it limits what you can do with your games, and it's supposed to be like for piracy to stop people from making illegal, you know. But really, this is another way for game companies to control what you do with your stuff. And so GOG doesn't really do that with their games. So like if you want to, it might be possible for you to transfer your games back and forth without having to worry about stuff keeping you from doing that. I don't know. It's kind of weird that like I can buy a cartridge or a CD and I can give that like to my nephew or my brother, you know, or someone if I want to give it to them. But you can't really do that with digital games, you know, which is kind of sad. Like there should be a way that you can do that. So, but anyway, like I said, GOG is very, you know, they're very consumer friendly, and they have a lot of like older games that they put on their catalog, and the prices are very decent as well. And one thing about PC gaming is so cheap, and you don't have to pay for online. Like Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, you got to pay to play games with other people. And it's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about getting a system. I was gonna get something for a friend of mine's, but I'm like trying to decide like if I get like a PlayStation or a Nintendo or an Xbox. Even though I have heard that Xbox is going to get rid of the online pay because they're going to have the console that's coming out next year. I guess it's going to be like a hybrid of PC and console, and they're going to get rid of because PC gamers ain't going to pay for online. I mean, that's just not going to work. You know, I play on all the platforms, and I'm leaning towards just becoming a PC gamer, just because it just feels like I'm throwing money away. And at least Microsoft lets you stream your games to the cloud. I had like a old computer, and last night I was on my break, and I was able to stream this game, Aphelion. I think I'm pronouncing it right. It just came out. It's an outer space game. You and this sister and this white guy. They're like trapped on some planet, ice planet, and it's interesting. It's not quite as action packed. I mean, like not yet. I know monsters come after you at some point, but anyway, I was able to stream the game because like I was trying to play Doom from Epic on my computer last night, on my old Asus laptop, and it just kept stuttering and it was unplayable. So I uninstalled Doom and I was installed A Long Hike. I think that's the name of the game. It's like an old indie game. I was gonna play that, but I was like, you know what? I have Xbox Live and I'm Xbox Game Pass, and they let me stream games. Let me see if I can stream Aphelion. And I looked, and it was actually a game that you could stream, so it played pretty good. I mean, it was a little lag, but I think it's like this, like the stream had to work itself out or something. But I was able to play it, which is incredible. So $9.99 a month, I get access to some of the games in my Xbox library. And I can stream those games on any device that will let me install Game Pass, which is like a lot because Xbox was real aggressive with the whole everything is an Xbox before the new CEO came, and she just kind of like killed all that because they want to get back to like exclusive games. You know, even though I think that they need a better strategy with the exclusives. I think exclusives do matter, but like don't lock the game permanently, because you can limit how much money you can make. Maybe just keep it exclusive on your system for a few years and then let the other systems do it. And I heard that Sony ain't gonna be putting their games on PC no more. I think that might be a mistake. I think that they should do the same thing like I just suggested. Have certain games be exclusive on their system for a few years and then let it go everywhere else. I think that's a good idea. But third-party games, you know, like Resident Evil, they're just gonna be on everything. Just more money. But You got to be real careful with that decision. Of course, it makes sense if you spend, especially if you're spending like $200-300 million on to make your game. You definitely want to make as much of a profit. And by locking that game on just one platform, you're taking a really big risk. Taking a really, really big risk. Now, I saw a few weeks ago a game that I've been playing like almost 6 years every day. This Vampire the Masquerade. This is going to get into the whole stop killing games movement, which is really becoming a big thing now, where companies can shut down games after a while, and then you just lose your money, and it's just not right that they do that. And I was trying to play Multiversus a few weeks ago, and I noticed that I didn't know they had shut the game down. I think I heard something about something that they had paused that game for a minute. They just kind of took it off, and then they had to go back and change some things. But Multiversus was like a online only game, and then they fixed it where you can still play games with other people locally, but you just can't play online anymore because the game wasn't making a lot of money. So Vampire the Masquerade, it was a free game, and I've been playing the game. Like I said, I've been playing the game for years, and I put a lot of money buying like cosmetics and stuff. Now that money is gone since they shut the game down. You can't play it offline. They could have just made it where people can play with bots offline or something. But it's just sad. When I look at gameplay footage that I did, that I've been doing over the years, it's just kind of like depressing to see all that. The game, it was a good game. It was a free to play game, and it's gone now. It doesn't exist anymore, and I just think it's crazy that the developers they can't make any more money off the game. People that were playing the game, that want to play the game, even like newer generations that would have probably enjoyed the game, won't get a chance to enjoy it anymore. So it's just gone. So I'm just really just sad about that. So the other game that I play a lot, the other online game I play a lot is Mario Kart, of course. And Nintendo kept the servers going for those older Mario Kart games for a while. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that came out, it originally came out on the Wii U. Then they ported it to the Switch, and they added like a bunch of new stuff. And the Switch came out in 2017, and the Wii U came out. I mean, that Mario Kart Deluxe 8 game has got to be at least maybe like 12 years old. I think it's at least that, because it was on the Wii U before they ported it to the Switch. And you can still go online and play against other people. But Mario Kart's not a free-to-play game, though. You pay for it. But they're all offline mode, so if they ever kill the servers, you can still play with other people locally, or play, against the AI. I know that a lot of people don't like that word now. But Marvel Rivals has become like a game that I play a lot, especially since they're adding Devil Dinosaur, which is like one of my favorite characters. And it's just interesting. I just saw something today on the news. They have created a street for Jack Kirby, who was the Marvel artist that created Devil Dinosaur and some other cool Marvel characters. Devil Dinosaur is like originally it was just a red T-Rex. It was a T-Rex that fell in some fire, some volcano, and it turned his skin red. And he hung out with this guy named Moon Boy, and they had like a bunch of adventures. I think the series only ran for maybe like 20 something issues, but there was a crossover issue where he met up with Godzilla and they teamed up. And Devil Dinosaur was reintroduced to the newer generation. He hooked up with this black chick, this little girl sister, who is incredibly intelligent. And I like the fact that they have not, she's like really the only Inhuman character that's really still like out there. I mean, Miss Marvel is an Inhuman, but they kind of, I don't know, they just kind of made her an Inhuman and a mutant character. that's a whole nother conversation. I hate that I hate when they go back and mess with characters. When they mess with storylines of characters, like the Nightcrawler and Psylocke is just so confusing. Her storyline is just so confusing. I'm still confused. Psylocke was one of my favorite characters back in the day, but her origin, they just really changed her. But anyway, Moon Girl, I was saying Moon Girl. Oh, the lights went out in here. Excuse me. Some motion here. I just have to get up and walk around, and the lights come back. I was tempted to say Alexa, turn the lights on, but that doesn't work in here. So anyway, Moon Girl is this incredibly intelligent sister, and she apparently has inhuman genes. And I know she was scared to activate her powers because she didn't really know what her powers were. When you are an inhuman, it's like a race of, people that just like mutants. They just kind of like live apart from humanity. When an inhuman is born, they expose you to this gas. It's called the Terrigen Mist, and that will activate whatever power you're going to have. So sometimes you become like a monstrous looking character or whatever, but when you are exposed to the Terrigen Mist, a cocoon forms around you, and then you come out with your power like later. So Moon Girl was afraid to get exposed to the Terrigen Mist, but eventually that happened. So when that happened, she came out of the cocoon, and her power was somehow her and Devil Dinosaur are like able to switch bodies with each other. So she can be inside of Devil Dinosaur's body and do whatever, and he can be in her body, just be growling and running around like a wild person. So they're saying that Devil Dinosaur is a mutant. So that's just like, I thought he was inhuman, but they changed him, and then the way he looks, they put like spikes on him and horns on his head or whatever, and he can breathe fire now apparently. But I love how they've changed the character, and they're putting him in Marvel Rivals. I think that he's going to be in the game this week. I don't know if he's in the game already. I've seen videos of him, so it's one of my favorite characters. I love kaiju. I like monsters. I love dinosaurs. So I'm real excited to play as him. He looks like a big ass, overpowered character, but that's cool. He's a kaiju. I like kaiju, like Giga Bash. That game check it out if you haven't played it. It's a game with a lot of kaiju in it. They haven't added King Kong yet, but I'm waiting for them to add King Kong. Speaking of kaiju, the most popular kaiju of all is a Godzilla game that I play like almost every day on my PlayStation 4, my PlayStation 5. This is a PlayStation 4 game that came out in 2017, and you can still, going back to the, games that require online. I mean, there is a story mode. There's some offline stuff you can do, but it's bizarre that you don't have the ability to play offline with other people. If you want to play against someone, you have to play online with them. Otherwise, you have to do the story mode. It's a grind, a grind fest. You go through doing the same thing over and over again to build your character up. But it's amazing to me that the servers are still going for this game. And I just hate that Vampire the Masquerade just had to just die. I mean, I just wish I was a computer programmer or a game developer. I want to get into game developing at some point. I really do. I mean, I put out 3 comic books, which was like a miracle. It was something I always wanted to do my own comic book. I did a cartoon, which was something I always wanted to do. I've done short films on YouTube, and video games it just seems like it's the next logical project for me. Video games are expensive though, even though with AI helping out now, and it made it a lot easier to do these types of things now with the technology that we have. But I would definitely love to do a video game, and I have a character that is a kaiju that I actually would love to do a video game with that character. So that's something that it's a project that I would like to go into production sometime this year. Like I said, it's just the money, the logistics of it all, and probably just need to build me a crew of other people. I can just do the story and the ideas and just the concept and just bring in some programmers to help out. So anyway, the Steam machine is supposedly going to be coming out pretty soon. Since word on the street is that Valve, they just ordered a bunch of consoles, and the Steam machine looks like a little GameCube. It looks like with like a light in the front. I'm really like on the fence about getting one. I have a Steam Deck, and that's why I'm thinking like, do I really want to get one? If I get one, it will just be something that I would use for my podcast. And the Steam Deck that I have, the L2 button is not working. I don't know why, but I got to send it in. I've been in contact with customer service with support from Valve, so I want to send that off this week. So to do that, I gotta wipe everything off the hard drive, I guess, and make sure I take out the micro SD card. So it's gonna be a factory reset, and hopefully it won't take them long to fix that. I think it may be like $100 and something bucks, maybe like 125, 150 for them to fix that. Because I dropped it one time, and I think that's what caused it. I mean, I have like a rubber cover, like supposed to be protecting. But one night at work, I was showing it to one of my coworkers, and I took it out of the case, and it leaned forward and just went kablat, like right on the front. And I think maybe that it happened when the fall happened, and I just didn't notice it because I really wasn't playing the games that needed the L2 button. But I was trying to play what is it? Marvel Cosmic Invasion, I think it is. And I couldn't like, I think the L2 button is like, I think that's to switch characters or something. It might be to switch. And I realized it wasn't working, or if I press like really, 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 really hard, it will work. So I figured out how to remap buttons, but it's still just kind of awkward. So I just want to just get it fixed. So what I'm thinking of doing is maybe when I get my Steam Deck fixed, I will maybe give it to someone and then just get the Steam machine, because I love the Steam Deck. It's just that for me, it's a good console. Hear me out. It's a good machine, but it's not as powerful as, it's just not. I would. You have to really optimize it, and it just is not going to run a lot of games. And then there's anti-cheat. Like, I couldn't play Vampire the Masquerade on that thing. For a while I was able to, then all of a sudden I couldn't because of anti-cheat. So there's like limitations. So as someone who would be like just getting into video games, like the person I'm thinking about giving it to, they really don't care. And I just was thinking about giving them a Windows device, but that would just probably be too complicated for them. So if I just give them the Steam Deck and then I just get the Steam machine, I'll be good, because I already have. I have this. God, I've got so many handhelds. I can't even. I have the Steam Deck. I've got the Asus ROG Ally. I've got the MSI Claw. I have the Lenovo Legion Go. I've got Switch 1 and 2. I have the RG 556, I think it is. I have a Retroid Pocket, and I have that the Logitech G Cloud. I feel like I'm leaving out something else, but I've got so many, and I find myself just jumping back and forth, so I don't really have the time to play all these things, and I don't really need all of them. So I will probably give the Steam Deck to my friend and get the Steam machine, but I'm just worried about the price. I mean, it'll be really nice to be able to play my PC games on the big screen, because I think I'll be able to play more, to spend more time just learning about my gaming habits. Like, I don't play games on handheld a lot, and when I do, I like the Windows devices, because I can record my gameplay footage and upload it onto YouTube or TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere really. Nintendo really just, I wish that they would let you record more than just 30 seconds of gameplay footage. And recording stuff on the Steam Deck it's a struggle trying to well, it's really just the sharing is the issue, because they only give you like so much time. If your footage is over 3 minutes, or if it's, you got to compress it, otherwise the file will be too big, and all of that. It would have just been easy if they could have just let you just upload it, right to YouTube, like you used to be able to. I think the Switch. No, the Switch always had Twitter and Facebook, and trying to think. My God, PlayStation has always had YouTube, but I think they used to have Twitter too. You could upload like short clips. Xbox, they just completely changed their sharing footages. You can record and share like 3 minutes of footage, which is like really not, just maybe like a round in Mortal Kombat or something, or maybe a racing game. You used to be able to record. I can record up to 5 minutes on my Xbox One, and it used to be you had like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour. PlayStation 4 and 5, you can record hours, but the longer your footage is, I think the less quality it will be. God, I can't believe I've been talking for almost 45 minutes. Sorry, not 25, 30 minutes. Just looking at the clock here. I have a few minutes before I start my shift, so I'm going to end this video for now. But I just want to do a video and just kind of like talk about some of the stuff that's going on. And I got to try to do more videos. I needed to try to do at least a video a day. I'm going to make that my goal. Consistency, they say that that's important. I want to start doing more reviews and having more guests and stuff. It's just been so much has happened in the last few months. Man, I can't believe we're already almost halfway through the year. I don't know what's going on with time. Everything is just flying by. God, I'm gonna be 57 this year. I mean, it's just like I'm just time is just flying by, and I guess I'm just starting to realize, there's you gotta really put aside the time to just really enjoy your life, because sometimes you can just like blink and the next thing you know, a year has just gone by. So I want to start doing more things, doing more trips, spending more time with family and friends, and just doing more projects, and not letting myself get overwhelmed, because like I have a lot of different ideas, a lot of things that I want to do, but I got to pace myself. So patience is another thing that I got to work on, definitely. But I definitely want to get into video game production, because obviously it's something I really love. I talk more about video games, I think, than I do about anything else. I definitely want to get back into talking more about comic books and other stuff, because I'm into so many different things. I mean, I call my program Nerds with Badges, because I'm a nerd with a badge. I'm a security guard, but I'm a nerd. I'm into all the Marvel and Star Wars and comics and video games and nerd culture, technology, all these different things. It's a lot of different things and topics I want to cover. So I got to work on my structure. As far as what comic books I'm reading right now, I'm reading Storm, I'm reading Absolute Wonder Woman. I got into Absolute Green Lantern. There's a lot of Godzilla comic books coming out, and a lot of crazy crossovers with Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know what's going on with that. So I have a lot of those books on my Kindle, and I want to start doing reviews. And also, I will probably go see Mortal Kombat this week, so I'll definitely do an interview. That would be nice. A review of that, and maybe do a review for the Mortal Kombat Legacy game that just recently came out. I think it's like 23 games on that. So that's going to be something. So this is Nerds with Badges for May 13th, 2026. Signing off for now. I will probably be back with another video sometime later this week. But for now, I am out. Be safe, be inspired, and hold on to your dreams.